Hey everybody, I have a video here for you today, and I know that's a shocker. But I've had some good messages and comments on my video that I did yesterday, where I just put out the request for suggestions for future videos, but I was looking through some of my older messages and some of my newer messages, and they just said, is it possible to put, excuse me, all of the pyramids in Egypt on one video? I think that's a good idea. Let's see if I've learned anything. Let's go. Let's start up in the north here. Let's do all the pyramids. And these are just the major pyramids, not the small satellite pyramids, because that would take forever. And I really haven't got my head wrapped around the names and everything of those places. But this is Abu Rawash. This is where people writing 100, 200 years ago that were doing early explorations in Egypt said this is the most ancient spot in Egypt. And the most famous of these places, and really on some lists, this is the only pyramid listed up here, but this is the pyramid of Djedefre from the 4th dynasty. And this looks amazingly like all the other, what they say are unfinished pyramids in Egypt. And if you're wondering what this line was, I found one more unfinished pyramid down at Dashur, the only place I haven't found an unfinished pyramid. And that's what this line is connecting it to, because those of you familiar with my pyramid videos, I have seemed to find a special alignment that has to do with these three original structures up at Abu Rawash. And I'll show you what if that lines up to anything at the end of the video here. But Abu Rawash, this is obviously a very ancient and kind of a secret place, I guess, because they have buried one of these pyramids up here. And this shows up a little better on the other Google Earth, the newer one, but beneath here is a perfectly square structure that was reported by one of these researchers. There's a causeway. There's a causeway coming down here, and this is a documented pyramid in the 1800s, but covered up today for some reason. And over here at the edge of the Nile bank here, we have really just the internal remains of a superstructure that was carted away gradually over time, and this is all that is left. And this is really strange. This was documented by Mr. Lepsius in the 1800s. Called Lepsius number 1. And was this a pyramid? Was this an observational building of some sort? But obviously very, very old. So we have 3 pyramids up here at Abu Rawash. Then if we go south here, obviously the next important place is Giza. They say 4th dynasty builders built here. Khufu, Khafre, Kari. Seem to have a 4th original structure here, and the only reason why I say that is because this seemed to be built out of a natural mound and they put stones around it. This is ascribed to Khinkawes, I think a 5th dynasty queen, but she obviously just built a little thing on top of an original structure. There is a causeway coming down, and I think this place had a purpose a long, long time ago, and I might do a video about that. But let's keep on going down here to the south, and this is a little better well-known place now. This is Zayat El Aryan, and a long time ago they say there was a huge structure here. All we have left is a shaft today. The attribution to this place is flimsy. There are many different theories, but no real answers. But all we have left is a massive shaft cut into the earth. A movie was done here in the 1950s. A very strange, very ancient place. But they have wanted to cover that one up, and they've done a pretty good job of it, but people want answers for that. And then at Zayat Al Aryan we have another unfinished pyramid here, and this is just, it's even tough to see on Google Earth, but it is right here. Square building, massive shaft cut to the north, just like the pyramid just a little bit to the north that is covered up with trash. Next place we are going to get to is this place, Abu Ghraib, and this is supposedly a sun temple of Nisuri. And is it a pyramid or a sun temple? Well, ancient text says it's a sun temple. And Userkov also built right here. I didn't include those in the pyramid videos because those aren't said to be pyramids, but you gotta wonder. And this is Abu Sir. There is supposedly a lost pyramid somewhere in this area, maybe right here, but that was documented over 100 years ago. But we have the pyramids that are sticking up today above the ground that we are familiar with. The pyramid of Sahuri, Nisiri, Neferkare, and then down here, identical to the unfinished, or the pyramid of Djedefre, is what they call the pyramid of Neferefre. Identical to all these unfinished pyramids. These pharaohs all stopped building at the exact same time. Totally remarkable coincidence. But this is Abu Sir, and I believe an ancient harbor right here. And that is typical of a lot of these sites. It seemed they had ancient harbors a long, long time ago. And maybe even a waterway coming down on the west side of this place, but that is Abu Sir. Let's keep on going down here. There is one place I have marked here. I think this could have been, maybe, I'm not sure what this was, but a large square building with really no documentation. Appears ancient, appears stripped away up on a mound. That reminds me of stuff we see up at Abu Rawash, but I have that marked. No real answer. And then I have this place marked for some reason. This is just a place that just looks strange to me. It seems there is a square structure here, and it is just lost to time, and it almost seems like there is a causeway coming down. This is one of those places that just looked old to me, but that just could be a relatively natural feature built over by modern structures. But here you see the necropolis of Saqqara. Just shafts cut into the ground. That could lead down to the Serapeum. I think this is the Serapeum entrance right here. But this is one of the most sacred spots, obviously, because of the necropolis. And let's look at these pyramids, the pyramids of Saqqara. And there is supposedly one lost one that records show was here in the 1800s. Just the outline of it, or just the outer wall of it, was remaining, and that's up in this area off screen here. But this is the pyramid of Teti right here, and that is totally buried. And we go down here. This is the pyramid of Userkov, the famous step pyramid of Djoser from the 3rd dynasty. And then we have the pyramid of Unis right here. That is pretty much buried, appears ancient, but the dynastic Egyptians put plaster on the wall, and engraved the pyramid text in this small pyramid here. With these pyramids of Saqqara here, you see I took a line from the corner, that would be the southeast corner of this pyramid here, southeast corner of Djoser's, and it goes right over the middle, cuts right through the center diagonally of this pyramid down here. Now that's the same alignment of the 3 pyramids of Giza, and the 3 pyramids of Giza are obviously different shaped. But that alignment of the corner, and then right through the middle, I think that is the same alignment up at Giza, just in case you're wondering what that line is. And then down here, we have something totally buried. And this, they say, is the unfinished pyramid of Sekhemet. And this is where Zechariah Godin found the golden alabaster sarcophagus. He thought he made an incredible find. He really did. But since there wasn't any inscription on it, he was ridiculed. And his body was later found in the Nile River. He was distraught. He was destroyed by the press and really ridiculed. And that was one of the more disturbing stories that I read about. But here is the great enclosure of Saqqara. Massive structure, no answer for, very ancient. And an ancient necropolis is here because these structures always existed. And here is southern Saqqara, and it gets even more mysterious down here. Here is the pyramid of Pepi. And down here we have a couple others. I mean, this really is in ruins here. And I think this is the pyramid of Menari. That is who it is attributed to. And I'll leave the dynasties in the information section in the video description, because I know I'm not giving the dynasties of some of these people. But I think this is the pyramid, or what they say is the pyramid of Isese. And there just isn't a lot of those. And I know I don't think I included a couple of these in my pyramid series, so I'm glad I am including them today. And here, this is one of the more mysterious places. I think this is the pyramid of Pepi II, and this is the huge, mysterious mastaba of Shepseskef. And this is called Mastaba el Faroun, and what's inside of this is a true mystery. It seems to be identical to those very, very ancient, unfinished pyramids. But I'll leave links below. Massive, massive sarcophagus found in this place. Strange buildings under this, indeed. And if we go a little farther down, I believe this is very southern Saqqara here, Pepi and Ibi built these 2 pyramids, and these are just kind of lost and buried, and not much is known on these. And if we keep on going down here, this is that pyramid I mentioned in my last video that I'm just not sure what is going on here. Seems to be modern structures. Seems like they're almost mining what's under this pyramid. But let's keep on going down here. And the next place we are going to come to is Dashur. We have the bent pyramid here. Most of the casing stones remain. A different angle built partway up this pyramid. A very strange place. We have the pyramid of Amenemhet right down here, and this lies in total ruins today. Total ruins. But supposedly the bent pyramid and the red pyramid were built before, yet it is the later built that is in total ruins. The earlier stuff is much better done. And just up to the north and west of the Black Pyramid and the Bent Pyramid, down in Dashur, is the Red Pyramid here, and I'll show you why that line is drawn through it here in a second. But this is the Red Pyramid, almost in perfect shape. Senefru supposedly built 3 different pyramids. That has to be highly questioned. And you see this blue line going over the red pyramid here. I'll show you where that originates. But the red pyramid is Senefru, down at Dashur. The Ben pyramid is Senefru. Supposedly he built a whole bunch of pyramids. I think the attribution should be highly questioned. Now, in southern Dashur, there is this pyramid here, and this is classic unfinished pyramid up on a mound. This is almost identical, I think, to Djedefre's up at Abu Rawash, Neferefre's, and all these they said that were stopped at the exact same time. But there is one down in Dashur here, and I have not talked about this one yet. And that makes sense if there's one at Abu Sir, and there's one at Saqqara, and there's one at Zayat al-Aryan. There should be one down at Dashur. Seems they were doing some calculations here. But what I did is I simply ran a line like on my other alignment videos, and I ran it up to the pyramid of Djedefre up at Abu Rawash, laid it right on that shaft up at the pyramid of Djedefre, and there wasn't any real alignment of this one I could find similar to the other ones, except it did go over the red pyramid here. Does that mean anything? I have no idea. The alignment thing, there's so many different ways you can do this, but it seems those pyramids up at Abu Rawash were used as markers for settling the final location of Giza. That's just my opinion. But that is identical to the unfinished pyramids, all the other unfinished pyramids, they say, scattered down the western shore of the Nile. But I thought I should mention that because all pyramid lives matter. That was a comment I liked from a previous video. But let's go down here. And these are the pyramids of Lisht. And these have really strange remains around them. Was this an ancient harbor at one time? Well, I think that's a very good possibility. I have shown pictures that really, the places out here, it really looks like ancient harbors. And there is one more pyramid of Lisht right here. And this looks like a harbor to me. This has changed dramatically from when these structures were originally built. Water was a main part of the story here. But this is the Pyramid of Lisht, the southern Pyramid of Lisht. Are these very ancient? Well, if there was harbors built here and the waterway was right up to here, yeah, I think they're very, very ancient. And then kings come along, pharaohs, and try to attach their legacies to these structures. But let's keep on going down. There is a few more pyramids down here to talk about, down near the Fayum region. And this one right here, this is a real weird place here. And this is the Pyramid of Meidum. And clearly a very, very ancient structure with something more modern built on top. And we have another one of those mastabas with stuff that just appears very, very ancient in it. And I think this is just called Mastaba 17, and there really isn't any good answers for these. But the lack of Egyptian documentation, the large sarcophagus, the huge megalithic stonework in the bottom part of those structures make them appear to me to be very, very old. Let's keep on going down here to a few others. This is the pyramid. I think this is one of my last videos I made. But sitting down here in the Fayum region is the Pyramid of Ilahun. And I talked about this in one of my last videos, made less than a week ago. Now, here is the Pyramid of Hawara down at Fayum. And there are said to be some other pyramids down here, but they seem to be lost to time. But this is the most really famous one because the labyrinth sits below ground here. And that has been confirmed by radar imaging in recent years confirms what Herodotus and other writers wrote about over 2,000 years ago. And there was said to be a third pyramid noted down here in the Fayum region. And the way it's been built up, and the water's now totally gone, it's really hard to find. But this is a possibility, I guess, for me. Right here, there just seems to be something ancient built up, maybe a shaft here, but that's really all I could find. There seems to be a necropolis built around that, but Fayum is a very, very ancient place. The labyrinth speaks of that, and I have a couple more places down here in the Fayum region marked, and honestly, I don't remember what this one is here, but I have it marked for a reason. And this might be the remains of one of those ancient pyramids, but there seems to be stuff built up over here over an original structure. And and there is just one pic of the ruins built over something here that seems very ancient. Just thought I'd mention that. And this is, I believe, way down by the border of Sudan, El Kourou. But this looks like it could possibly be a very ancient place. And there are modern pyramids down there that were built maybe around 500 BC that I made a few videos on. And these are also ancient Nubian pyramids, maybe built around 300, 400, 500 BC, relatively modern, but really aren't important to the origin of these structures, but should be mentioned because they are pyramids. And I'll leave some links below. But that was a look at the pyramids of Egypt. Most of them, all the major ones. Satellite pyramids were not included, but it stretches from the Fayum region, Hawara, Elahun, Lish, Meidum, Dashur, Saqqara, Abu Sir, Zayat al-Aryan, Giza, and then all the way up to Abu Rawash. And this seems, Abu Rawash, the very northern place, seems very, very ancient. But to me, maybe these observatories, these unfinished pyramids, were observatories. They were trying to get a fix on an exact location. And that is where they put the Great Pyramid. But that is a look at all the pyramids of Egypt. Some of these pharaohs are attributed to more than one place. Seems some dynasties were real active. They were trying to attach their legacy to these sacred structures that were always here. Proof, because necropolises are built around these places that have first dynasty stuff in them. They were always here. Hope you thought that was interesting, and you all have a very cool day.